Hello fellow hunters, it's JBizHunts, back with the second episode of the secret locations of the hunter call the wild. The first episode got the community buzzing, and many of you have submitted more secrets locations for me to uncover and share with the community. Video games hold many secrets, and Call of the Wild is no exception. Hidden across 4 maps, I will bring you the truth and expose 2 secret outposts for you to travel to. The swamps that hold many secrets in Africa, and a crater in the middle of an icy land of permafrost. Let's dive in. When it comes to secret locations in the Hunter Call the Wild, my favorite will always be the outposts that remain hidden. When you unlock an outlook tower and illuminate the area all around you to show you all the potential areas that you can visit to unlock with those little green indicators, but there's always sometimes a few outposts that remain just outside the outlook tower's line of sight. Mississippi Acres has one of these such outposts, and for me it's an important one. In the very north part of the reserve in the Magnolia Farms area, there is such an outpost. It's on the top coast where the river curves around the map from the west. There is a road, and on the road that should have something at the end when you unlock the outlook tower, but it doesn't reveal anything. So I hopped on my ATV and went to investigate that road. Sure enough, the outpost reveals itself. It's an important outpost as there are whitetail, deer, and black bears on the top north coast, and this outpost gives you a direct access to find these animals, especially if you're doing a great one grind on Mississippi. I mean, who's doing a grind on Mississippi, but maybe you are. If you are a multiplayer hopping and looking for trophies, definitely give this an unlock, as it is a great point of entrance for the reserve that other players might not be using, and you could explore some unexplored parts of the map, and you may just find a huge diamond or a rare animal. I always make sure I check this spot, especially for gray foxes as well. Just like in Mississippi Acres, Rancho del Arroyo has an even more hidden outpost. The Mississippi Acres outpost has a road connected to it, at least giving you a hint of its secret location. Rancho, it's more like finding a needle in a haystack. In the southeast corner of the map, in the Valley de Santa Rosa region, there's a hidden outpost. I unlocked all the outlook towers and it's still out of reach. What makes this outpost so important is that it's the fastest access point to a very tiny lake that just so happens to be a hotspot for the majority of the reserve's animals. I traveled from the road using my ATV until I could no longer traverse the hillside. I continued my adventure on foot until I could see the green indicator. Sure enough, hidden away from the rest of the reserve is this beautiful little outpost. After I unlocked it, I grabbed a tent and made my way to the tiny little lake to see how many animals I could spot having a taste from its water. Sure enough, I found bobcats, coyotes, bighorn sheep, mule deer, and even whitetail deer. The fact that it had so many animals with 2 drink zone indicators to discover makes this a go-to spot on any map. You may have a hidden diamond or a rare sitting waiting for you to discover, or very easy access on multiplayer that maybe others are not going to look and explore, and you can have an opportunity to jump on someone else's map and find their hidden diamond or hidden rare. There are sometimes hidden drink zones on maps. Ones you can't see, ones you don't even know that are there based on them when you look at the map. Maps tend to show you blue areas where you can find the animals' drink zones. Vurhonga is filled with secrets and hidden lakes. I have 3 areas where you should be looking if you want to find Cape buffalo, warthogs, and lesser kudu. If you don't know where these areas are, you are probably missing some of the best hunting on the entire reserve. In the Vuksa region, there is a far east outpost. Once you unlock the outpost and walk toward the coast, there are 3 visible drink zones you should be looking for. Once you get to the top of the hill and look to the south, there's 2 large lakes that won't be visible on your map. I've found diamond Cape buffalo there and a gold scoring albino warthog from this location. Now just north of this location is the 3rd lake, and these 3 spots should not be missed when you're visiting Vurhonga. Next spot you should be looking for if you travel to the southeast portion of the map in the Zonga region, there are basically a plethora of lakes in the swamp region. You have to be very careful when scouting these lakes as they are hidden in between dense shrubbery, which can cause a lot of noise while looking between them for your next trophy. My advice, go look and pick up the need zone indicators so when you come back, you know where you should be looking and you can crouch walk and really look at about how you enter the area as to not spook the big albino Cape buffalo that could be hiding in the swamp. The last spot you should be looking for in Vurhonga is at the very north of the map in the Nwalungu area. I traveled there to the very top outpost and I set my marker 600 meters to the east and just walked towards it. Along that route, you will discover 3 or 4 hidden lakes that you would miss if you just traveled around the coast. These spots could be why you don't have a diamond warthog or a lesser kudu, because they are just there waiting for you in your next hunt. My advice is the same as the swamps. Walk through it, pick up some need zone indicators, so then you can really judge about how you enter next time, looking for the next Cape Buffalo that you're looking for, or the warthog, so you can better plan to come through there and know exactly where they are on your map. The last secret locations that I can share with you takes you to the frozen taiga of Medved. There is a huge crater that's in the southwest of the map in the Piñanaya Taiga region. You can't miss this crater as it's very visible on the map. You can access this crater from any of the outposts that surround it, but I would suggest when you get to the edge to find the entrance to the traverse down the inside, which is usually at the middle of the craters on the east or the west openings. Inside, there are usually 3 or 4 drink zones which you can find. I've found a diamond wild boar in my travels to these drink zones, but you could also find brown bears, Eurasian lynx, and moose inside. Just like I'm showing you here where I'm spotting some moose, if you're doing a great one grind on Medved, you honestly cannot miss the crater because you will probably be missing a few of your herds when you're trying to use your herd management. The last hidden drink zone is near the Skull Cave. If you open up your map and look to the southeast of the map, the little skull is quite noticeable. If you set your map marker to the west of the skull area, you can see the tiny outline of a white circle. Here you can find some more hidden drink zones. So I traversed up there. It does take a while as there's not really a very close outpost to get to, so I would suggest bringing a tent, especially if you're doing a moose grind, as there can be some moose zones up there, so you're going to want to make sure you bring a tent in case it's something that you want to set up on. So some animals that I've found at this little zone is I've found moose, Siberian musk deer, brown bears, wild boar, all here. Both the crater and this zone are important for Great One moose grinds, as you can have hidden zones that are affecting your moose grind, and if you haven't visited them yet, please get out there and see them, because this could really affect your herd management. Well, fellow hunters, that's a wrap on this list of secret locations in the Hunter Call of the Wild. I know there are more hidden gems out there, so if you found any, drop them in the comments below. If you missed part 1 of my secret location series, now's the time to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you love Hunter Call of the Wild content just as much as myself, please subscribe for more, and as always, fellow hunters, happy hunting.